There we go.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Valhalla Hour, let's go! Kick back, put on your headphones tight. Rob and Matt, bringing fire every night. From the land of 10,000 lakes, we rule the scene. With a crew so fresh, keeping it raw and clean. Minnesota Vikings, kings of the north. We wear our purple heart and let the battle roar forth. Breaking down the game, dissecting the plays. With passion so fierce, we'll set the night ablaze. So give us a follow, hit that like. Share it with your crew, you know we're about to strike. Valhalla, our podcast, living life bold, where legends are made and stories are told.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, everybody? It's another Saturday.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Absolutely fantastic.
So we actually have quite a bit to discuss about. Matthew, why don't you start going down the list? We have made some moves.
That's like, where do we start, man? Between all the cuts and all the restructuring, I don't think any of it's been a surprise. Like, we've all sat here and said we're probably going to move on from Hargrave. We were probably going to move on from Allen. We were probably going to move on from Aaron Jones, and those happen to be the three people that we've cut so far. And then restructures for what? Jefferson, Darrisaw, Murphy. Looking at still restructuring O'Neal, Hawkinson. We were at 45 million under the cap, and now we're 26 million over the cap, or vice versa, however you want to say it. But we got some money to spend now. A lot of that's going to go towards the draft class. That's going to take about 6 to 10 million of the cap. But now we actually have some money even before a couple more moves. Like, we should get to 40 to 50 million in cap before it's all said and done. So Rob B back at it again. The cap is a myth.
Yep. Yeah, and if they end up restructuring O'Neal, Hawkinson, and Grenard, or trading Grenard, which I still think Grenard's possible for a trade. You know,
yeah,
I think
I agree, because you look at how Dallas Turner's actually turned out.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
I'd say. Sorry.
No, I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I think it's like a 70-30 that Grenard gets traded, but it's got to be done by the 13th. Otherwise, it's not a massive guarantee. Like, I think it's like 6 million in guarantees hits on the 13th. But
didn't we extend Van Ginkel too?
I think his was like a 1-year extension last year. So I think this is his last year under contract on the team.
I thought we did something with his contract too.
It was a 1-year extension to push some money off, but I think that it was a 2-year deal turned into a 3-year deal, and I think this next season is going to be his 3rd year. So I do believe that Van Ginkel's an unrestricted free agent in 2027. But if we're trading Grenard, we saw yesterday Max Crosby got 2 first-rounders, and Grenard's not Max Crosby. No one's going to sit here and say he is. But his stats weren't so far off that, I mean, we'll get at least a high second, if not, or like a high first round, low second round pick for him.
I can see that. I can see a low second round.
Yeah.
Especially like you just said, with how we fumbled the bag with Daniil Hunter. I mean, we got a comp pick for him when he left in free agency, when we could have traded him for a haul because he is an obvious stud, but we kept trying to work it out and make him happy with the contracts, and he decided to take less to go home to Texas. And we can't do that with Grenard. If he's not happy because he wants to get paid more, and the Vikings are getting calls from allegedly half the league, and someone offers you a first-round pick, Grenard's great. He's not so good that we're going to give up having that cap space clear and having that high draft capital. I mean, he is 28. He's not going to last forever.
Right. Broski, that's what they did last year on that, yes, and then it comes as to where, what are you going to do for the future? You know, are we going to extend him again, or are we going to, I think Van Ginkel's got a couple more good years. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Van Ginkel, and I hope they do what it takes to keep him around. But there also are a lot of young studs in waiting. on the Vikings in terms of pass rushers. That is a position of luxury. So, that's why you can see a guy like Grenard be trade bait. If you're not able to bring Gink back next year or whatever, although I think he wants to play a couple more years, and I, as a Vikings fan, want to see him play a couple more years too. So.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Grenard was a 4-year contract when he was signed, and Van Ginkel was a 2-year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grenard was either 3 or 4. I think.
Yeah, it was 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the issue. Is through the first 2 years, he feels like he's outperformed his average annual value. And I mean, like we just said with his Max Crosby comparisons, he really has. He's supposed to get like 19 million this year, and if all these other edge rushers are getting 35 plus, like I think they said the Hendrickson extension, wherever he goes, he's projected to get like 3 years, 105 million. So he is probably underpaid by about 5 or 6 million a year. But if that's the difference between him wanting to stay on a beef-low defense that has been top 5 the last 2 years, or wanting to go to whatever other team for that extra 5 million, I guess that's on him. But
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, if we lose Grenard, it will hurt us, but not that much, because look at what Turner did after week 6, or after whatever week it was.
right.
Best on the team in pass rushes, best on the team in sacks.
Well, and that kind of ties into Hargrave as well, as there was that couple tweets that Hargrave retweeted where it's saying, like, if you want to be a defensive tackle that can get after the quarterback, a Brian Flores defense is not for you. And it's like, oh, Hargrave was not happy with his usage or like how Flores schemed him. But then we saw Redmond, an undrafted free agent coming in from the UFL, who had 6 sacks at that same exact position. So it's like, is it a Flores scheme problem, or was it a skill issue for Hargrave being 31 coming off injury and just doesn't have his explosiveness?
Injury problems. I'm telling you this right now. Hargrave's not going to be that good after this season.
Right.
And something to consider, I posted probably about a month ago or whatever, but they had done a workup of percentage of get home impact plays from an interior defensive lineman. Jalen Redmond led the league per snaps, production and everything. The pressures and sacks, led the league. He just had very limited playing time because you had 2 high dollar guys in Hargraves and Allen and whatever. I would like to see Redmond get his chance and, show some more of that. But a couple other things of interest. Ryan Kelly did retire, and, thank you for your year with us, Ryan, but that is absolutely the right choice for him. That's the right choice for him, his family, and his health, because you cannot have that many concussions. If he wants to be around to watch his kids graduate and walk a daughter down the aisle or anything like that, it's right. He can't keep doing this. And
two is to take notes.
We had 3 exclusive restricted free agents: Redmond, Bo Richter, and Xavier Scott. Kevin Seifert from ESPN is reporting Redmond and Richter have received tenders, and Scott is expected to receive a tender. So it looks like we are in good shape there.
I guess I don't know if I am or if I'm not surprised by the Bo Richter one. Yeah, we've talked about how he looks like a flashy, like up and comer, and how we're excited to see if he can develop. But they clearly, every offseason, it seems like they take a more and more liking to this guy, but he just never seems to increase his snap count. So we'll see what happens this offseason or this next year with us having to kind of retool the defense due to cap issues. But the Vikings really seem to like Bo Richter. The Xavier Scott one, he looked decent on his time last year. He looked fast. He's got good hands. He can receive well. So they clearly trust him as young talent.
I actually like him over Aaron Jones, and it's definitely going to be cheaper than Aaron Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
But it depends on what we do in the draft. If we take Love,
Emmett Johnson,
yeah. Emmett Johnson's more of a power back, though.
That's fine. We're not going to get Jeremiah Love. He's going to go in the top 5.
Oh,
for sure
yeah,
not top
probably.
7.
If not top 3, I mean, somebody's going to really jump the shark on that.
Yeah.
That does
If he's
worry
going
me.
top 10, top 15, I can see that. But what I'm saying is Emma Johnson, I'm not sold on him. Because Mason's the same.
Right.
We already have Emmett Johnson with Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Mason's also on a 1-year deal.
Getting back to the Bo Richter thing, Matthew, like you were saying, I think it's just, again, a good player that's not getting snaps because of the wealth that we have at edge rush, or at pass rush, I mean, Ingram
Bo
Dawkins.
Richter's a linebacker.
Yeah, but he's
Outside.
Yeah.
Inside. 6'4", 295. You're playing him at edge.
I mean, when they use him, it's in a pass rush role, just like Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, regardless of what position they have him at, but they don't consider him to be an interior guy that's like the run stuffer. He's somebody that's going to bring heat.
Right.
It's difficult with the Flores' defense because he has people out of position and you just never know where it's coming from. I get what you're saying, Wink, but I mean,
yeah,
Richter is
not. Yeah, we'll see Dallas Turner at middle linebacker once in a while as well.
Yeah, Richter isn't competing with like Cashman or Ivan Pace or any of the big guys up front like Redmond or Levi Drake Rodriguez. When he's getting snaps, it's because he's going in there because one of our multitude of edge guys or outside linebackers, he's going in and relieving them. Yes, he's a big fucker, and that's awesome. We need that size. But yeah,
I also saw reports that he's going to get more snaps this season.
He's going to have to.
And I think that the more I think about it, I think Ivan Pace is done. I think he's gone. And Rick just taking his spot.
Well, it remains to be seen, I guess. I mean, there's going to be more moves that are coming yet.
Yeah.
Because Ivan Pace is a free agent this season too.
Yeah, but he's going to be cheap. So it's all about money. If Ivan Pace agrees to come back on like a 2 or 3 year, or not 2 or 3 year, but like a $2 million a year deal, we'll probably keep him. But I mean, he was a healthy scratch last year. He was benched without being injured. Like obviously he wasn't great last year. So if we lose Ivan Pace, it's not the end of the world. But
it's not.
It was a fun rookie season, that's for sure.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, when we brought back what's his nuts there, Eric Wilson, who had disappointed the last time he was in, then all of a sudden it's like he just flipped the switch and is a totally different person and just went in and lit stuff up. He just straight up took Ivan Pace's job away from him because he played well. And
well, he's a free agent too. Like, how much are we gonna have to pay him for him to stay, or do you think we move on from him?
I don't know. I mean, they do have all those young guys that hardly ever get a chance. And then, of course, you have Ivan Pace. Was it a sophomore slump? Is it just, because teams figured out how to manipulate the undersized guy trying to play inside linebacker?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think we need a nose tackle that can freaking stop the run.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, the thing with Ivan Pace is rookie season.
Ivan Pace would be a dominant player.
Well, that's the thing. Is like Ivan Pace's skill set was his ability to stop the run, because even with his size, he had such a good center of gravity and low anchor that he could put people twice his size on their ass. But then last year, it seemed like he couldn't drag a tackle to save his life. It was just getting dragged like a rag doll. So like Rob said, I don't know if it's just they figured out how to use his size against him, but he didn't seem to have that kind of power behind his tackles last year. He just was getting bullied.
Yep. And in other not so breaking news, but in relatively new news, the Chicago Bears have acquired a new center, a gentleman by the name of Garrett Bradbury, that will now be facing the Minnesota Vikings twice a year. Supposedly, the Chicago fan base is happy about it, but not nearly as happy as Jalen Redmond and Levi Drake Rodriguez.
Exactly. What about Taki Tamani?
Yeah. That's the amount of copium I've seen the Bears fans take in the last 18 hours has been pretty funny to go from, oh, we're getting Max Crosby, oh, we're getting Linderbaum to, oh, man, I'm so happy we didn't have to pay the amount for Linderbaum, and I'm so happy we don't have to give the draft capital for Max Crosby because we have a dude that allowed 0 sacks last year. It's like, do we not remember every other season Garrett Bradbury has had?
Right.
The dude's smaller than Kyle Rudolph. We've all seen the picture. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's better than not having Drew Dahlman because Dahlman decided to retire after 1 year and take the $28 million guaranteed and run. But if you're like, hey, we have this impenetrable wall now, sorry, no, not so much.
And I'm seriously waiting until they release what they gave up for Bradbury.
It was a fifth.
It was a fifth.
Yeah. So not a ton of capital. I would have loved a fifth after we moved on from him because we got nothing. But you're obviously, if you're giving up a fifth, you're not getting someone that's going to be an elite player. Otherwise,
They traded for him.
Fifth.
We had him on our roster. They traded for him.
Hey,
Bradbury?
What now?
So we got like a future. You're saying the Patriots traded for Bradbury from us, but we got like a future seventh or something like that, though, didn't we?
Probably.
I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, but yeah, Bradbury's not the answer, Chicago. He's not Dahlman. He's not Linderbaum.
Oh, here we go. We're getting a clap back now. This is good. Vikings wishing they still had Bradbury last season. They were jealous he was playing in the Super Bowl. Actually, we were not wishing we had him back. We were just amazed that he was having a good year. And
exactly.
I will take whatever backup center that we have currently, like Blake Brandel, who played half of the season or more, rather than bring Bradbury back to Minnesota. So good luck with all of that, broski.
Yeah, exactly. Huge difference between wanting him on the team and just saying, like, hey, how did he go from pure trash in Minnesota to serviceable in New England?
Well, and there is a reason why we fired our O-line coach. We'll put that out there because I do need to say that is a fault there, too, because, you know, you look at Ingram goes and has a good year elsewhere, too. We have to take some responsibility on that. But, I mean, Garrett Bradbury is the size of a linebacker trying to play center. It just doesn't work.
And he's got sweaty hands.
Okay. Vikings don't have a center. Copium is thinking Brandel is your answer at center.
I forgot we drafted already.
Answer, but you mistyped that. Vikings don't have a center yet.
Well, we have Juergens as well, who we drafted, and the Vikings seem to have been high on him the last 2 years. And we still have, I think, 9 picks in the draft. So I don't think that we have to have this current roster set in stone before April even hits.
I agree.
Circling back on one thing, Van Ginkel missed 7 or 8 games. What was it? Do you guys remember?
It's like, between 6 to 8. He missed, he was out from like week 3. I don't remember. But yeah, he missed a good chunk.
So 54 total tackles, 7 sacks, 1 interception, 11 tackles for loss, and 2 fumble recoveries in half a year.
Yeah.
I really, really think we should do something about getting him for another, at least a 2-year extension or something.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I think they're going to do that. If we see Grenard traded before Friday, I think within the same week we see a new deal for Van Ginkel.
Yeah. Here's something else that isn't talked about, but probably should be. In the running back room, the one thing that nobody's mentioned is although anymore your specialists are kind of like you're just dedicated as a specialist. Miles Price can run. I mean, if we bring in 2 big bruisers like or one, a compliment Jordan Mason or whatever, and you want that Aaron Jones scat back, I mean, just catching passes, speedy as shit. You've got Xavier Scott. You also still have Miles Price on the roster that you could start playing around with.
Right. Well, isn't Price a receiver? Like, I would love to use him as a.
I was thinking I don't remember what position he went into the draft, if it was a receiver or like a D-back or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it was offense.
Yeah, I think he's a receiver by position. I would love to use him as a read type where he just kind
I
of
think corner, guys.
Price.
Yeah.
Could have sworn he was a receiver. Oh, I'm tripping.
But I could be wrong.
Well, I'll look it up after the show, but I could have sworn he was offense.
But anyway, he could be used as a running back. And look at his stats at as a special teamer. Period.
Who brought up the Lions?
This so Broski and this Motown Mitch are going back and forth, and it's rather funny here.
Price. He crushed it as a return man last year. He had what, like 11 or 1,200 return yards or some crazy shit.
Yep. One of the best returners in the NFL.
There he is. What's up, Eric?
Hey.
Hello.
Made it.
Awesome. Yeah. So
Yeah.
We're just
Blue
discussing
sky
we
and
went
behind
through all
you.
the moves, and we're brainstorming now that all things are said and done at center and whatever else of let me ask you this, Eric Gurecki. Is there anybody out there in free agency or that's rumored to be a cut or a cap casualty at center that you've seen that remotely sparks your interest? Because as of right now, I have not seen anybody.
Other than Lindenbaum, I like Cade Mays from he was with Carolina last year. But Linderbaum is about the best, but I think he's going to be a little out of our price range, possibly. I mean, we made major cuts this week and just got where we needed to be, but I think as someone to possibly battle, Cade Mays.
Nice one, Broski.
I actually agree. We can't afford Lindenbaum because even the Titans are going after him, and look at their cap space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem we'll run into with. I mean, we made good waves in our cap process, but there's a lot of teams that have a lot of room to get some of the big free agencies right away. I think most of our guys will be, I don't want to say tier 2, but they'll be depth guys, I think. For the majority, we may make one splash signing, but I think everybody will pretty much be depth.
I think the splash signing is going to be a quarterback.
I don't think Kyler Murray is a splash, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything I'm
No
seeing.
Kyler.
I don't want
prefer
Kyler
Geno.
either.
I
prefer
it's
Geno.
going to be Kyler. Yeah. All
I don't-
signs point to
It's like I told Rob earlier. I don't want an injury-prone quarterback with an injury-prone quarterback behind him.
You're not wrong. I would take Geno over Kyler, but unless it's just a smoke screen, all the rumblings on the internet is kind of pointing towards Kyler. I mean, you've seen the same shit I've seen.
right.
Yeah, I just don't think he fits. I think we have to almost change, 60% of our system to fit his style of play.
Yeah.
He even came out last year and said that part of the problem with the Cardinals was he wasn't running enough. And I don't want him to bring that mentality to Minnesota, but I think it all depends on where we go with, free agency running back or draft running back. But I mean, I've seen a lot of these big guys talking about Kenneth Walker should sign with the Vikings, but at what price? I don't think we're going to want to fork over what he's going to want.
Yeah. We're more likely to get Dowdle or Gainwell than we are Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
My thing with Kyler Murray, and I've clearly said multiple times now over the last few weeks that none of these free agent cornerbacks are super exciting. The reason I would like Kyler over Geno, Geno does fit the system better. He's a more pure pocket passer, but he's also 36, 38. And so it's like if McCarthy, like all the reports are saying the Vikings are over him and are either trying to ship him or he's just not the future that the Vikings were looking for. We need someone that can potentially be the future. And Sam Darnold was dogged on for 7 years before he came here and lit it up. And now everyone's saying that the Vikings fucked up by not signing him. Kyler Murray was good. He's had 3 or 4 really good seasons in the NFL, and he hasn't had great talent or great coaching. So if he can be the next Sam Darnold, he's only 27. He can be the future of this team. And if he ends up popping off this year for a league minimum of $1.3 million, he ends up having a good season. We get back to having 11, 12 wins. We go to the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game. We can redo the Sam Darnold situation all over again, and he can be the future quarterback for at least the next 4 or 5 years. Whereas Gino, even if he's good, he's probably a one and done. And then right back next year, we're looking at either free agents or having to draft this. Again, the Vikings just clearly seem to want to move on from McCarthy.
Yeah, and here's my
I didn't realize Gino was that old. I thought he was like 31, 32.
I think he is
I guess
31, 32.
I didn't realize he was that old. Damn.
I think he's at least 36.
I think he's 31, 32, man.
Okay,
Either way, I didn't.
Yeah.
My thought was Gino with like a 2 to 3 year contract. Could be a good bridge if they decide to go someone new next year in the draft, and then you still have Gino or even Kyler at that matter. If you give him a decent 2 or 3 year deal, with a load that bitch with incentives, number of games, passing yards.
Geno Smith will turn 36 in October.
Okay. All right, you're right.
Okay, so,
I don't know why I was thinking he was younger.
so even at that, right? Kyler's going to be here 1 or 2 years with that contract. Cheap contract.
They'll both just get a 1 year deal. We're not going to sign either one of them to a multi-year deal right off the bat.
And we could take like a Drew Aller to sit behind them.
Yeah.
I think Brosmer's gone. I don't think he makes the team. If we go and get another quarterback, he's out.
I really feel like we're still going to draft a quarterback with one.
I don't think Brosmer's that good.
No, Brosmer's not good. It was a fun story. He's not good.
It did not work out. Here's the thing. I think the Vikings are dragging their feet a little bit because Kyler Murray wants to run more. That is not what the Vikings want. They have 4 guys out there that are not happy with their stats at all last year. That would be Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and Jalen Naylor. A running quarterback is fine if you don't have that kind of firepower of pass catchers on your team. Well, we do. So we need somebody that can not just stand in the pocket, but avoid that initial contact and deliver accurate passes down the field. I worry about Kyler Murray's height with the way that our O-line has been having issues. Now, a good center could solve a lot of that. I think we fixed left guard. Jarisol will return back to form. Will Fries played better last year. And
Will
also
Fries was our best offensive lineman last year.
O'Neal.
Yeah.
O'Neal was hurt sometimes.
Yeah, but he according to PFF, he had the highest grade of any of our offensive linemen.
That actually really surprises me because I felt like O'Neal got his ass kicked a couple times, but I suppose over the course of the whole season, a few bad plays aren't.
I don't pay attention to PFF, by the way.
Yeah. I do it because it's a good. It's not the only answer, but it's a good tool to use as far as one of the assessment tools. You can't use it primarily, and there's too many people do.
I would assess it.
Yeah,
PFF because they were actually linemen graded.
Yeah. Just don't pull a Kwesi and use it to draft.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the thing with Kyler Murray, though, too, is obviously we don't want someone that's a pure running quarterback. We do want to pass the ball. But with the O-line issues we have had with their durability and able to stay healthy, the pure pocket passers that we've had over the last few years are taking a shit ton of sacks because they can't maneuver. Whereas Kyler Murray, his mobility allows our receivers to break open. And he's not going to be chucking it 50 yards when he's scrambling out. He is going to be just kind of dishing it to whoever is open. And his mobility could really help us get those long running plays open. I keep saying that word over and over again, but like his mobility can be more beneficial than having the Kirk Cousins and having the Carson Wentz's that we've had that keep getting their shit pushed in because they can't go left or right. They're just kind of stuck in the center. And we saw that with McCarthy when he was healthy. It's like when he was able to escape, he was extending plays, and that's something we sorely needed, is not having second and longs, third and longs. Kyler Murray, his last full season, had like 575 rushing yards, which I think they said is the most we would have had since Culpepper. So like those are plays that are getting us second and short, third and short, if not allowing Addison, Hawkinson, and Jefferson to get wide open because we don't have to throw the ball in 2.5 seconds. He can buy a 4 or 5 second developing route. So I'd actually be curious. Like it worked for Dobbs for 2 games, but Dobbs is just trash. Like Kyler is Dobbs if Dobbs had talent, and we loved having that mobility with Dobbs for 2 games.
And then
I actually agree. Like I see Matthew's point. If Kyler could throw the ball instead of wanting to run the ball all the time, put the ball in the spot with Jefferson, put the ball in the spot with Addison. Yep.
I think everybody on the coaching staff and front office of the Vikings know they cannot get caught with their pants down again with the quarterback that cannot get the ball to their top 4 guys, which is Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, and Naylor.
Right.
You cannot do that to these guys 2 years in a row or they're all gone.
But wait a minute.
On that note of the top 4, though, I just see the list on the Athletic that Naylor is about 20 positions ahead of Diggs on the top-rated free agents.
20 positions ahead of who?
Diggs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think Naylor was like the 27th best free agent option, and Diggs was like 48th or something like that, or 39th.
Okay,
it was crazy.
Let's stop this right now. Look at what Diggs did when he signed in New England.
Well, no, I was just using that as a reference for Naylor because Naylor's going to get some attention in free agency. So if we don't make the move before, or make a good effort before, we ain't going to have him next year.
No.
But look at KJ Osborne. What did we say about him?
I don't think a lot of people were sold on Osborne from the start, but
I still personally like him, and if we ever brought him back, I would not be against it. I mean, we've always had that tier 3 guy that always seemed to show up and make moments. You know, you go back 10, 15, 13 years ago. So it starts this trend where we start with Jarius Wright. Okay, Jarius Wright. Always, you know, he was never the guy. He was always like the number 3, blah, blah, blah. Always consistent, though. Made plays when you needed him to. Then you move to KJ Osborne, same thing. Now we got Jalen Naylor, same thing. You know, I mean, we do have a nice little streak going with that tier 3 guy. You know,
I think you even had Thielen on that as how he started his career was a good, you know, tier 3, worked his way into 1 and 2. You know, that shows just the depth we had at wide receiver for so many years. We've always had decent wide receiver above average. I won't even say decent. I'll say above average wide receivers.
Yeah, and hopefully Ty Felton can be that next tier 3 guy if we do decide to move on from Naylor. I mean, obviously, we saw 0 from him last year as far as offensive output. He was mostly just special teams, but when you draft him in the 3rd round, you hope that he could at least be a wide receiver 3 type of guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I love Felton. I love this tape. What I saw in person was different.
Yeah.
But experience makes more plays, makes you better.
Right.
Get him out there.
That's exactly it. Like,
get him out there, see what we have.
People were ready to write off Dallas Turner after his first season, and now we're saying we can trade Grenard because Dallas Turner showed enough promise. We had to bring in Allen and Hargrave last year because we didn't know what we had a defensive tackle, and now we're seeing that Ingram Dawkins and Levi Drake Rodriguez could be the future. Like, we just got to give these players more than 1 year before we're saying, like, fuck it, move on.
Exactly.
I'm actually comfortable with Redmond, stepping up. I still do think we need to draft a big nasty to play nose, but all the guys that can play 3 technique, if that's even what you want to call it, in Flores's jacked up whatever system he's running, I am perfectly comfortable if we roll out week 1 and our two of our 3 guys up there and everything is LDR and Jalen Redmond.
So I have a question for all 3 of you. Peter Woods is on the board. Out of Clemson, defensive tackle. This guy is a nose tackle. Who would you take if let's say there's the top, there's Thiemann or I don't know how you say his name, Dylan out of
Thiemann,
Thielemann, whatever, or McNeil, whatever. Who are you taking? The 2 safeties.
Thiemann over McWarren.
Yeah, Thiemann would be 1, McWarren 2, Woods would probably be 3 on that list. I think
Like,
D tackle.
To me,
it's
I
not
think
necessarily deep.
Warren to me would fit our
deeper.
system better.
I think they both would fit the system very well. I think Thiemann has a much better coverage upside, but I think McWarren can be in the vice versa. Sorry, McWarren has a better coverage upside where Thiemann is, I think, going to be a little bit better in the box. So I think they both fit our scheme very well, but now let me throw this out. Have we heard anything on Harry at all?
Yeah. The report yesterday was that he is uncommitted to retiring and that it really is going to be dependent on who the Vikings bring in at quarterback. And if he feels that they're going to make a serious push, he'll come back. And if we just kind of blase it, then he's just going to step away.
I think that the Vikings had better get something figured out at quarterback we know we're going to bring a veteran in. We don't know who. We better get something done to build confidence before the draft, because that, to me, if we stay at pick number 18 in the first round, Harrison Smith staying for 1 more year or leaving directly affects whether I want to take the best D tackle on the board or the best safety on the board. I don't feel like there's any. I think it's ludicrous. We're not taking a center at 18. They're all second, third round, and later. So really, what does that boil down to? Of need, but yet best player available right there. There's going to be an ass ton of D tackles and probably a couple safeties out there.
And corners.
I know Harrison Smith is coming back. I'm getting the biggest, nastiest freaking nose tackle, that I can find. And I'm not even opposed to a larger 3 technique. But
what about the guy from Ohio State? I forget his name.
Downs?
No, I actually like the kid
I'm
from
not talking.
you're
I'm not
thinking
talking.
Caden McDonald?
I'm talking like deep. I'm talking that nose tackle.
Yeah, Caden McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like Lee Hunter III from Texas Tech better than him.
Is he going to be there?
He's not. I mean, he was late second rounder. He was a late second rounder prior to the combine, so he may be early second, maybe late second now with Hunter. I mean, I've seen some drafts with him, some mocks with him going in the first. So, but bottom of the first.
I've seen the same thing. Like, that's why I'm asking: is he going to be there?
I mean, it's hard to predict it because they're all over the board with him.
It's the same thing with McDonald, though. Like, the one player, and now I'm seeing Woods actually falling back in the draft. Like, that's the problem with nose tackles. They fall back.
Yeah.
People are like, problem you have if you're picking at number 18.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, too, GMs start to look more at athletes in the first round than they do big body guys, unless you're desperate for a defensive lineman. I think a lot of the GMs tend to be like, I can get one in the second or the third. That's not a big step down from what's in the first round. You know, I think athleticism stands out more. I think to a lot of GMs, but
that's kind of the position I hope that we're going to take, because that's what we did with Daniil Hunter. Where, granted, he was a fifth rounder, so I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but they saw him like, this guy's an athletic freak. We can coach him up, but you can't coach athleticism, and he ends up being one of the top 3 defensive ends in the NFL over the last 7 years. You got to get athleticism. You can get big bodies, especially with the Vikings having 9 picks. We can throw 4 darts at the board of defensive tackles and interior O linemen that are just big, beefy guys and hope half of them work out. But you're not going to get a stud safety. You're not going to get a stud corner in rounds 3 to 5 like you are in the first 2 rounds. And then, Rob, what you were saying about Harrison Smith, I think he has enough respect for the team that he'll let them know before the draft what his plans are. I don't see him going into OTAs or training camp in July, be like, you know what, I'm done. I think he'll give the team the grace of a yes or no before the draft.
Yeah.
But
and with your point, Matthew, I think I've heard people say that the easiest thing for NFL teams to do with draftees is add strength and add weight. You know, it's the easy. If you get a good guy who's athletic and you need him to add 10 pounds, you can get him to get stronger and faster, or stronger and bigger, just because of the way the training systems are set up in the NFL. You know,
right.
if you need a guy who's you know, you want a guy who's 305 to play 3 technique, but the guy you like is 295, you can get him up that weight. You know, so
right. Well, did anybody watch that interview from Lombardi the other day where he was talking about Rob B and his style of drafting and what he looks for? And because I'd like to touch on that.
I didn't see it.
Can I say something first?
Yeah.
We're talking about Harrison Smith and retiring. He's a free agent.
No, he's under contract for like another 2 years, dude.
Yeah. This comment here, we don't
I
need
think he has
more
void
upfield
years.
stacking the quarterback. We need
Oh,
Pat Williams or Harrison Williams back. We've been saying for the past 4 or 5 years on this podcast, we have not had a true nose tackle since Linval Joseph left the team. And it's true. I mean, that is the most overdue fix that the Vikings have had yet that they need to figure out is an actual big nasty nose tackle.
And it's not that we haven't had opportunities. We had Tyrese Tonga, we have Taki Tamani, we have big bodied guys. They just, I mean, you look at Tyrese Tonga just played in the Super Bowl. You know, I mean, he's a guy who's made the rounds, who's filled some gaps. I don't know what we're looking for in that big bodied nose tackle, other than someone just to plug the holes and you know, maybe get 4 sacks a season and just be, you know, 15 tackles for loss and just plug holes.
Yeah.
You know, we've had guys that are big bodied, they just don't stay around.
Like, their job is to clog holes. And we look at stats. Like, their job is to clog a hole to make room for people to get that stat.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing is, like, unless you're picking in the top 10, you're better off trading back to the end of the first, because, like, when we usually pick, we're usually at the high teens, low 20s, and there's not a true blood nose tackle at that spot. Like, you're either getting one of the top 2 in the top 10 of the draft, or you might as well trade back to the end of the first or take one of the second round, because, again, like, the stud corners, the stud receivers, the stud safeties, the skill position players, like, those are the ones that tend to fall to the mid-teens, early 20s, and those are the ones you can get a top 2 or 3 position there. But I don't want – I mean, I suppose if Peter Woods falls to 18, I'll take him because he's a true nose tackle. But I don't just – like, I'd rather, again, just wait until the 3rd or 4th round and just take the size if that's all you're going to – huh?
He's going to fall, just like Caden McDonald. Like, Woods is projected at 38, and McDonald's actually – the guy Eric said was predicted ahead of him now.
You said was this projected to fall to 38th? He's not even a first round projection anymore.
Wow, that's a
was
big drop.
projected
I'll say every
Hunter's
time I do the mock
projected
drafts
ahead
on
of him.
PFF, he's gone by 18.
Well, on 3 of the
Yeah.
4 mock draft systems I have, he's 38.
Well, then
Most of
all
the
the
ones
more
I
reasons
think
he
he's gone, but
right.
I also trade back a lot.
Well, if he is projected to fall back to the second round, then all the more reason. Like, yeah, if we're sitting there at 18 and we call somebody up and they give us a couple high picks to fall back 5 to 7 spots, do it and get him at 24 and get yourself an extra second or an extra third and a fifth or something like that. But it's just not a player that I want to. Well, I said the same thing about Donovan Jackson last year. I was disappointed that we took him where we did. I felt like we could have traded back and still got him. He ended up being really good. So, I mean, I'll trust the team. But that's kind of why I wanted to talk about that Lombardi interview. Is he was talking about Rob B. And he was throwing massive shade at Kwesi, saying, like, Rob B is the type that actually sits there and studies film. He's a GM that knows what the hell he's looking at. He doesn't rely on PFF and analytics. He actually knows skill. He actually knows how to evaluate talent. And that's something that I've been saying is, like, apparently our scouting department's been letting us down because they're the ones telling Kwesi who to draft. But if Kwesi is just telling them, like, oh, you guys can go fuck off because PFF says this guy's not a good great, so I want him. It'll be nice to have someone that actually can evaluate tape and be like, hey, here's where he's going to have his strength, or hey, here's his weaknesses. So he was saying that Rob B is going to nail the draft, and he seemed pretty confident that he's going to be the Vikings GM in the future. So,
well, here's the thing: we kind of have a gut feeling here and there, as soon as the draft is done and what we think. You have a gut feeling if you know you fucked the draft up, and the gut feeling is every draft that Kwesi's had, minus a few obvious picks like Addison and stuff like that. It's like, man, what are we doing? And
man, he only had Addison and the kicker.
And if we come away with the good feelings, like, wow, Bryzenski just nailed this fucker. He got guys that we've heard of or that we have watched, play college ball and are like, yes, that is who we want. I think if Rob nails this draft, I think he's got the job.
Yeah. Not passing on Christian Mahogany for Kobe King or whatever.
Right.
No, I just, the draft is a crapshoot the way it is.
Not trading the Lions receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Jameson.
For that safety, Lewisine.
Yeah, granted, I love like when I do my mocks, I love having as many picks in the top 100 as I can get. Right. And I just think that's where most of your talent is going to be. Granted, there's always guys who slip outside that come out of nowhere and are really good. But if you can trade from 18 to 23 and get another third or another, a late second or a third, now you're just adding to the pile you have, because to me, the draft is such a lotto. You can get guys that are fantastic. You look at the D tackle we took from Florida, Sharif Floyd.
Yeah. Played
phenomenal, but then, had surgery and the doctor fucked up his knee.
Right.
Like, fuck, So,
yeah.
And you look at like Matt Khalil, great for 1 year and then fell off,
But then look how he did in Carolina.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. But,
he didn't do that bad in Carolina.
He was booed in Carolina.
But then you also look at, holy crap, I probably got hit by a fall ball. You look at, I have my back to the field. So, what's his name? Cleveland and Ingram. I always felt like we gave up on Cleveland way too early.
Yeah,
and
I wanted Cleveland back. Like,
Daniel Carlson.
Yeah, another one. We gave up on him after what, 5 games?
Yeah.
Wasn't on top of that, our former kicker, the Packer kicker, what's his name? I forget. that he would teach him. It was just a mechanical issue with him.
Yeah, but whatever they changed in with Okar with the Raiders seemed to work for him.
Right.
All it
I
was a
saying
mechanical.
Ingram was
That's all.
bad.
That's what
I actually
Ryan.
threw a party when Ingram left the freaking team. I was saying that who knew Ingram would shape up and be the player that he was. Well, and Bradbury had a good year with the Patriots. Ingram had a good player year elsewhere too. Nobody knows this stuff, but that's also why we fired the offensive line coach too. You know,
Right.
I mean,
that's the only thing that makes me nervous is his replacement is just our assistant whole line coach. So we'll see if there's even any improvement.
Going back to the comment is Ingram didn't play well for us at all. And he turned out being really good for the Texans. Bradbury was good off and on, and now he's not even with the team he was with anymore. But Cleveland always played well when he was with us. I never understood the trade. Ingram was awful, and I didn't regret that trade at all. It just wasn't great when he actually played well for Texans because it made our O-line coach and our offensive system look terrible, like we couldn't coach anybody.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Cleveland was a Jaguar.
We traded him to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
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 You said Texans.
No, Ingram was with the Texans.
Yeah, Ingram.
We traded Ingram to the Texans and Cleveland to Jacksonville.
Yeah, and six shooter. I like Mekhi Blackman, and I'm kind of pissed that they gave up on him and moved him off too. And yes, we do. Yes, let's talk about player development. We're so quick to jump the gun because we think that we need to be a 13-14 win team. We're not sticking with guys because we feel like every year is the year that we just need to get it done. We haven't shown any patience. We haven't shown any kind of ability. At some positions, we can develop like a mother, you know, and then on some positions, we just look like we're clueless out there. So,
I actually agree with you, Rob, there.
Yeah, and even on that note, like we have young guys in the defensive backfield that just never see the field, like Nudie and who was the undrafted free agent last year that looked so good?
God.
Zane Vaughn?
Yep.
Yeah, Jeremiah Vaughn, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They look phenomenal, and yet we don't see them. And Murphy didn't play that great. Rogers was
sure didn't play that.
Yeah, but we don't see this young talent get opportunities. That it really shocks me that Ingram Dawkins.
I think this guy's doing voice to text and stuff. Yeah, and we talked about Ingram Dawkins and Bo Richter and all those guys earlier. It's just we have such a wealth on that, you know, that D-line pass rush type of thing and whatever. I think if we do move, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we can circle back. I feel like if they do ship Grenard off and everything in order to keep Dallas Turner fresh, Gink fresh, blah, 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 you'll see guys like Tyrion Ingram Dawkins and Bo Richter and guys like that get more snaps and everything in rotation. But
yeah,
you got to realize these guys are sitting on a roster spot where they got like 3 or 4 guys ahead of them, you know.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and they're also a 5th and 6th round pick, so we can't expect them to be like 70% of the shared snap starters by year 1 or year 2 either. Like it naturally ends up taking them a little bit longer to see the field. And this is going to be Ingram Dawkins' 2nd year. It's going to be LDR's 3rd year. And with Hargrave and Allen Gall, Rob, like you just said, unless we draft defensive tackles and edge rushers in 2 of the first rounds, they're probably going to see a massive increase in snaps next year because that's kind of the progression for people drafted in those later rounds.
We need to.
We did tender Redmond and we tendered Bo Richter. That was put out last night by Kevin Seifert from ESPN. just so you know.
And then with Mekhi Blackman, I feel like his injury had a lot to do with why he moved on. I don't think they wanted to waste a year of him getting healthy and then another year of seeing if he could get back to it. They needed people that could get on the field right away, and you only have so many roster spots. So I feel like that's more so why we moved on from him. Is like we saw the picture, his bad leg looked half the size of his good leg, and it's just like, yeah, no. I mean, obviously the corners we had last year weren't great, but I don't think he would have saw the field at all last year. And you might as well see if you can get some drafted. Same thing with Andrew Booth. Like we gave up on him after 2 years. He's done. I think is he either UFL? Is he even in the NFL anymore?
I don't know.
No, he's not. I think he's UFL.
Yeah.
But Matthew,
So-
can I talk to you? Can I say something before you say something else? Our trade with Blackman, I don't agree with because it hurt us. Blackman was the only other nickel corner we had who could play edge or corner.
Yeah. He could be on the field, but could he be productive? And his rookie season, he was good a game and a half. He played, 6 games his rookie year, and then he busted his knee and came back. And again, like he was going to take time to heal. Like we didn't have time to A, see if he could heal, B, see if he could even get remotely back to his rookie form. And even his rookie form wasn't that great. So,
But
Yeah, and I
don't think he was an all-pro last
why
year.
don't we go after another nickel corner?
Well,
The only
that's what
other
they're
nickel
saying
corner
Terrell's going to
the
be.
only-
You know, the kid from Clemson, I think, and they keep saying we're going to draft in the first round. They were talking
Yeah.
high on him at the combine that he's going to be the best nickel corner in the draft. Well, you know, we a lot of
Who,
times have
Delaney?
Ellis or our safeties play nickel a lot of the time too. So
Yeah,
do we want
do
to
a
waste
lot
a
of
high
big
draft pick on a nickel corner?
We do a lot of big nickel, which means if that's the case and we're gonna keep doing that, then you draft a safety.
right. Like, yeah, that's what we use Metellus for. Murphy plays nickel corner quite a bit. So, like, I don't think Mekhi Blackman was the make or break at nickel corner.
No.
But
But
free agency tampering starts in 48 hours. So we'll see what's about to happen.
Yes,
Yep.
next week's show is going to be super interesting because I'm sure when this thing hits, it's just going to be fast and furious.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I do expect
Especially
Grenard to be
Tuesday.
traded.
Tuesday is going to be fun.
I expected by tonight, kind of.
Grenard?
Yep.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be yesterday, but I suppose you got to take as many calls as you can get. So, but I wouldn't
mean,
be. I will.
I
go
think
ahead.
we're kind of asking for a first, and nobody wants to offer.
I think if the rumors are true that, you know, over half the league is inquiring on his, you know, what we want for him, there may be a bidding war. If you look at what I mean, and he has no, you know, Crosby at all, but dude, they got a haul for him. And you know, Grenard's a little older and not the same style, but you know, if you want a guy on the edge with some presence who can play the run and rush the passer, the requests are going to
And
come
he's
in,
not
and you're going to make bidding start to happen.
Well, and he's not going to
But I
break the
think
bank
we're-
either. He's not going
I
to be getting
think we're
35,
asking
40
for a
million.
I think we're asking
Yeah,
too
because he
much.
wants a raise with 3 sacks last year, and he wants a raise. I'm like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, either get a first or get a second and a fifth. It doesn't even have to be a first. If you can get a second and a late rounder, I'll take it. Because that still gives
Yeah.
us 5 picks in the first 3 rounds.
Yep.
So
I'll take any.
we'll see.
I'll take anything anybody wants to give outside of too little.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
we are at the end of our show. I got to run this outro, but we'll be back next Saturday. Skull.
Skull.
Go.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.